What's going on, guys? It's Cal here from Buffalo SportsCenter, and today we're going to be doing a very fun video. We are going to be giving our official 53-man roster projection. Now, this list was very hard to come up with, and that's always a good thing, right? If your roster projection is hard to come up with, that means you have a lot of depth on your team. Again, this Bills team has a ton of new faces, so it's going to be very challenging to determine who is better than who, just from watching camp. Again, I am recording this before any preseason games have been played. So if you see a game and you see a key injury or, maybe somebody had a good or bad performance, this video does not reflect any of that. This video is recorded before all of preseason. With that being said, let's get into it. Let's start on offense. First things first, quarterback. This one's easy. We got two people making the team at quarterback. That would be Josh Allen and Mitch Trubisky. Again, of course, Josh Allen's going to be your starter, and they brought back Mitch Trubisky to be the backup. So plain and simple there. Let's go to running back now. This one also pretty plain and simple. James Cook is going to be your starter. Ray Davis, who you drafted early, will be your backup along with Ty Johnson. Again, Ty Johnson is injured right now, but he should be able to make the team. And then we're also going to throw in Reggie Gilliam as the fullback in this category as well. I've seen a lot of people projecting Reggie Gilliam to maybe miss the roster, but I just don't see it happening. Again, he's been here for so long. I know the fullback position is less valuable this year than maybe 10 years ago, but still Reggie Gilliam's been a crucial part of this team the last couple of years, despite only playing 8% of the offensive snaps last year. So I still think he makes it under this McDermott style of team, but it is going to be close. And with tight end coming up, again, maybe they elect to drop him and keep 4 tight ends, but right now I have Gilliam making the team. Let's shift gears into the wide receiver position now. This one is tough. This one could go either way, but right now, this is how I see it lining up. First things first, Khalil Shakir obviously making the team, along with Curtis Samuel, Keon Coleman, and Mac Hollins. I think those are your locks. Then I have Marquez Valdez-Scantling also making the team, and then Terrell Shavers. I think Shavers just barely makes this roster. Again, he's been impressing in training camp, and McDermott said he was very impressed with pretty much every day from Shavers. Now, the only issue with this is that would mean Hamler misses. Now, KJ Hamler, again, an offseason addition. He has, been kind of linked to being maybe a return man. He has impressive speed, but so does MVS. And I think that is the difference here. I think MVS steals that spot, and Hamler ends up becoming an afterthought on this roster. Now, stay tuned, because at the end I am going to give a couple names as practice squad mentions, and KJ Hamler will be one of them. Let's shift gears into the tight end position here. Again, this one was tough. This one was really tough. Zach Davidson has been playing his, absolute mind out at training camp. Unfortunately, I don't have him making the team, though. I have Kincaid, Knox, and then Quentin Morris being that third tight end. The reason I have Morris over Davidson right now is because Davidson is more of a receiving tight end, whereas Morris is more of a blocking tight end. You look at Kincaid and Knox, both of them are more effective in the passing game than the run game and the blocking game. So I think you need a guy like Quentin Morris in there, to block. Again, the Bills are going to be a run team this year, right? They're going to be kind of a split team, whereas in years prior, it's been more of a pass-only offense. You got James Cook this year, and they've made significant improvements to that offensive line. So I think it's definitely going to be a key factor to keep Quentin Morris. Speaking of the O-line, let's get into it. Easy, your starters: Dawkins, McGovern, Edwards, O'Cyrus Torrance, and then Spencer Brown. We know that going into the season, and that's what it's going to stay. Those are your starters. As far as backups go, I have Van Denmark making the team, Alec Anderson, Cedric Van Pran Granger also making the team, and then the last two in, I have Will Clapp and Tylen Grable making the team. Again, this one, towards the end of that, it could really go either way, but it's, looking at the roster as of right now, position by position, looking at the guards, the tackles, and all that, that's kind of what I had in mind for that offensive line. So that's my offensive projections. Again, in the comments, if you disagree on anything or if you agree on anything, let me know. Let me know what you would change, and let me know if any of those players stand out to you as, camp bodies, or maybe, maybe they do make the roster. Now it is time to switch over to the defense, though. Let's start off with that defensive line that has been very impressive, but also not very consistent in years prior. So first things first, Von Miller makes the team, no doubt about it. He's been looking like old Von Miller in camp, which is good to see. Gregory Rousseau also makes the team, obviously. AJ Epinesa and Dewan Smoot. I mean, this guy has impressed in training camp. Sean McDermott called him a dog. So, it's very exciting to see what he'll be able to do this year. Javon Sullivan, I also have making the team, as well as Ed Oliver, Daquan Jones, Austin Johnson, who is Daquan Jones' buddy from the Chargers, so he will make it as well, Deshaun Williams, and then Kingsley Jonathan being that last guy in. Kingsley Jonathan, a guy who's kind of bounced around from the practice squad, back to the main roster, back to the practice squad. I think he does make the team this year as that last guy in on the D-line. Let's go to linebackers now. Bernard and Milano, of course, those two are going to make it. I also have Nicholas Morrow making it alongside Dorian Williams and rookie Edefon Olofasio. Again, that's going to be a tough name to say on the field, but as of right now, I have him being that last guy in, moving Baylon Spector off the team as it stands right now. Going to the cornerback position, this one was also kind of tough, but also, there's not a ton of depth here as well. So you got Taron Johnson, Benford, Rasul Douglas, and Khair Elam as the main guys on that team. And then I also have Daquan Hardy and Cam Lewis making the team as well as your depth cornerbacks. Cam Lewis could also play safety too, which is why I have him in this position. Speaking of safeties, let's move on to them. Again, there's a lot of injuries with our safeties, but, we're going to expect all these guys to be healthy for week one in this roster projection. So that is going to mean Cole Bishop and Taylor Rapp are your starters. And then as far as backup goes, I have DeMar Hamlin and Mike Edwards making it. Again, DeMar Hamlin on the edge of that roster. I think he's going to make it. He's been looking pretty good in camp, and also he has, a lot of experience on this team. And again, like I mentioned, in the cornerback position, Cam Lewis can also play safety. So he will be your emergency backup there. And then we get into the specialists here. Pretty cut and dry. Sam Martin as your punter, Tyler Bass as your kicker, and Reed Ferguson stays as your long snapper. We're not going to see any changes there unless there's a major injury. And that is going to wrap up my defensive projections. Now, last but not least, let's go to the practice squad here. Again, KJ Hamler and Zach Davidson, I think, will be on that practice squad, but they also could very easily get poached onto another roster. Eli Anku, D lineman, who seems to always be on the practice squad. I have him there as well. Jamarcus Ingram, another guy I can see on the practice squad. Shane Buechele as your third-string quarterback will be on the practice squad, I believe. And then Baylon Spector, like I mentioned earlier, too, getting bumped off the team. I think if he doesn't get picked up by anyone, the Bills will happily add him to their practice squad, along with many other names, but those are the guys I want to, kind of key in on in this video. So that'll wrap up the video for today. That is my 53-man projection. Again, if you agree or disagree with anything, feel free to let me know in the comments. You can't really go wrong with this projection. I mean, again, guys, people could have a projection that has 5 or 6 different players than what I have, and I could easily see it happening. It's still early in camp, and like I'm saying, I'm making this video before any preseason football has even been played for the Bills. So, again, there's no real way to know who's going to make it, who has an edge on other guys, besides just, looking at camp and seeing what they did there, and also experience with the team, and experience in general obviously helps guys out against guys who, maybe are second-year guys who haven't played a lot of football. So that's it for now. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to leave a like on this video, subscribe, check out our Instagram, and be sure to join our Discord for important updates. Thank you guys for watching, and have a good one.